All year long, new enterprises were opening in Russia, new technology was being developed, roads, bridges, ports, and other infrastructure were being built, and many scientific discoveries were being made. A review episode with the main events will be published on our channel in a few days. In the meantime, let's simply list all the achievements of the year noted by our project. To understand the scale of what has been accomplished in Russia, let's go. A batch of Depesha ground drones has been delivered to the troops. A barge of the RDB 6668M project has been laid down in the Tomsk region. An automated line for the production of acoustic systems has been launched in Moscow. High-strength fastener production has started in Omsk. Large-diameter polyethylene pipe production in Vologda. Metal nanopowder production has been mastered in Sevastopol. Vegetable oil production is opened in Tatarstan, and a dairy farm has been established in the Perm region. The world's only floating nuclear thermal power plant, which is currently operating in Chukotka, has generated its first billion kilowatt hours. The main stage of modernization of production facilities has been completed at the Barnaul Transmash plant. The heavy wheel disc plant in Barnaul has also been modernized, and new production lines have been launched at the Onega shipbuilding and ship repair plant. In the Ulyanovsk region, a plant for the production of semi-trailers has been opened. In the Ivanovo region, there is drone manufacturing in Kurgan, woodworking production in Ryazan, a machining shop for components for electric trains and diesel locomotives, and a large feed mill. In Bashkiria, a new poultry building has been put into operation, and cheese production has been launched. The country's largest dairy complex has begun operating in the Volgograd region. Russian Helicopters has delivered 14 more new Mi-26 feet TV-1 helicopters to Russian companies. The large-scale modernization of all 4 power units at the Rostov nuclear power plant has been completed. Gold mining has begun at a deposit in the Magadan region. Rose Electronica has begun producing key unmanned aerial vehicle components, navigation modules, and controllers. Kalashnikov concern has created the new belt-fed RPL-7 light machine gun. In Udmurtia, the production of components for oil pumps has been launched. In the Moscow region, the production of metal structures near Voronezh, a plant for dry construction, mixes in the Stavropol region. The flour mill in Karelia is one of the largest fish feed production plants in the country. In Kaliningrad, the large freezer fishing trawler Viktor Gavrilov was launched. Construction of a project RDB 6668M barge has started in the Tomsk region. KAMAZ has launched the production of a new 69-955 tractor unit for heavy-duty operation. In Ulyanovsk, the production of Solar's pickups has been launched, and in Tolyatti, the first lithium-ion battery production for UAVs in Russia has started. In Moscow, the production of auxiliary machine room components for nuclear power plants has been established, and at the Salyut production complex, a line for manufacturing aircraft engine components has been built. New equipment was introduced at the Mayak plant of the Kalashnikov concern in Kirov, and a fiberglass production workshop opened in the Vladimir region. The Soyuz 2.15 launch vehicle with spacecraft of the Ministry of Defense successfully launched from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome, and a batch of BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles has been delivered to the troops. The Kalashnikov concern has developed the latest short-range territorial air defense missile system, Krona-E. Another TVS, 2MS aircraft, has completed a test flight. ARDB 5006 Project Tugboat was laid down in Tomsk region. In the Khabarovsk region, traffic has started on the second track at the Stalanik-Alonka section of the Baikal-Amur main line. A breeding and seed production complex worth 2 billion rubles has been launched in Yelets, and explosion-proof elevator production has started in the Moscow region. Russian school students won 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals at the International Geography Olympiad in Indonesia. Russian helicopters delivered 10 new Mi-8 MTV-1 helicopters to Utyr. Admiralty shipyards in St. Petersburg laid down ST-192 freezer fishing trawlers. Krasnaya Sormova laid down another River Sea dry cargo. 59 dry cargo ship and Chkalovskaya shipyard laid down a PKS, 42 passenger electric vessel. At the Chepetsk mechanical plant, a new section for producing components for the core of the innovative Brest OD 300 reactor was launched. A pharmaceutical production facility was opened in Moscow, a cosmetics production facility in the Moscow region, a feed mill in the Novosibirsk region, a large food production facility in Stavropol, and a greenhouse complex in Kamchatka. The hovercraft shipyard has built a new passenger hovercraft, Vasily Ilyin, of the RM-44 project. Astrakhan has started building a series of river sea dry cargo, 81 dry cargo ships. The largest unmanned systems flight test center has opened in Moscow. Tomsk now has a scientific and production center for unmanned aerial systems. New facilities include a microelectronics plant in Kaliningrad, an aluminum body plant in Korolyov, a switchgear plant in Astrakhan, a solar power plant in Vologda, and a pig farming complex. Russian school students won 2 gold and 2 silver medals at the International Mathematical Olympiad in Bucharest. The Soyuz 21A rocket, with Progress MS-30, successfully launched from Baikonur Cosmodrome. High-precision systems delivered TM-140 snow and swamp vehicles to Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations. A batch of serial PD-14 engines has been delivered for installation on import-substituted MC-21 aircraft. The upgraded engine for the Meteor 120R hydrofoil vessel has passed bench testing. The St. Petersburg tractor plant has started producing a pilot industrial batch of electronically controlled engines. A new terminal opened at Novokuznetsk Airport. STAN has begun mass producing 5-axis computer numerical control machines for aviation. Serial production of agricultural machinery components has been launched in Saransk, production of unmanned aerial vehicle components in Novosibirsk, and the first cryo-granulated starter culture production in Russia has started in Krasnogorsk. The Soyuz 2.1B rocket launched from Plesetsk Cosmodrome and delivered a Ministry of Defense satellite into orbit. Autozavod Ural is starting production of the new Ural-80 truck. A nanosatellite testing center has been launched at the Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology. At Samara University, named after Korolyov, a shared additive technology center has been opened. And at the Research Institute of Electronic Technology, they have started producing microchips in metal polymer cases. Scientists at Tomsk State University have developed and scaled up a technology for producing powdered silica gel for toothpaste production. In St. Petersburg, the first robotic cargo sorting system in Russia has been launched, with a capacity of up to 4,000 parcels per hour. A new feed processing plant has been opened in the Tyumen region. KAMAZ has started mass production of a new K5 series tractor, and in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone, production of the new Solars SF-1 van has begun. In Vladivostok, the keel was laid for a self-propelled 20 self-propelled barge, while Samara opened a new building for making advanced power unit parts. In Rostov-on-Don, there is a plant for microelectronics components, and in the Moscow region, a surface mount line and production of high-pressure safety valves. Copper concentrate production has started in Khabarovsk Krai. A fastener parts plant opened in Omsk. Irkutsk Oblast now has a robotic dairy farm, and cheese production began in Nizhny Novgorod Oblast. The Angara 1-2 launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed military satellites into orbit. Troops have received another batch of Panzer S air defense systems. A new dredger of the project has been laid down at the Astrakhan shipyard. And at the Gorky automobile plant, production of Valdai 18 trucks has begun in Yaroslavl. Production of the new Yaroslavets Ya-250 SKH tractor has started, and the DST Ural plant has presented the new FT7 tractor with a Russian engine. The Rose Electronica Holding has started production of FISHT industrial mini-computers in the Tula region. Production of polymer films has been launched. In Tambov, production of additives for dry building mixes. And in the Rostov region, a large soft drinks plant. At Sevmash, the nuclear submarine Perm, the first regular carrier of Zircon missiles, has been launched. In the Samara region, the keel laying of 3 serial dry cargo ships of the River Sea Dry Cargo 34L project took place at once. Lavna, a new port in Murmansk, has opened, costing 87 billion rubles. One of the largest hardening complexes in the country has started operating at the Chelyabinsk Forge and Press plant. Samara has started serial production of low-emission combustion chamber and industrial engine parts, while the Gorky automobile plant has expanded production of the modernized 5-speed gearbox for Gazelle Next vehicles. In Kaliningrad, laptop production has been launched. In the Tver region, a new robotic assembly shop for servers and the production of plastic components. In Kuzbas, import substituting production of vacuum pumps. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a third line for the production of geotextiles. In Perm, production of fiber optic cables has started. In the Tomsk region, the first regional production of quartz flour has opened. And in Yekaterinburg, paving slab production with investments exceeding 1.7 billion rubles. In Tula, there is a plant for deep processing of oilseeds. In the Omsk region, a pig breeding complex, and in Bashkiria, a dairy farm. Russian students took first place in all categories of the International Mobile Robot Competition. Troops received a batch of Su-35S fighter jets. 2 River Sea Dry Cargo, 81 dry cargo ships were laid down in Astrakhan at the Solar's transmission plant. Mass production of 3 models of mechanical gearboxes has started in Kaluga. Production of brushless electric motors, flexible polymer reinforced pipes. Production has been launched in Irkutsk, the first plant in the country for extra-large curved insulated glass units has opened in Chelyabinsk, and full-cycle hygiene products manufacturing has started in the Moscow region. A grain elevator opened in Ulyanovsk, and the first phase of a meat processing plant began in Ryazan. Russian students won the Grand Prix at the International Olympiad in Theoretical Mechanics in Turkmenistan. The Soyuz 2.1, a launch vehicle with the transport crewed spacecraft, successfully launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. A KSP-01 Project crab fishing vessel was launched at the Krasnaya Sormova plant of the Stakhanov ferroalloy plant in the Luhansk People's Republic. After 11 years of downtime, the 4th electric furnace has been launched, and production of gearboxes for industrial robots has begun in Chelyabinsk. At the Inferit plant, production of the first Russian payment terminal has started. In Ivanovo, there is a high-tech foundry. The Vulcan plant has expanded the production of rubber technical products in the Orenburg region. An oil plant has been opened, and in the Vologda region, a poultry complex has been established. Russian school children won 6 medals at the World Chess Championship in Serbia. Another batch of BMP-3S with additional protection has been delivered to the troops. A multifunctional tug rescue vessel was launched at the OK shipyard. The Pegas Agro plant has launched the new Tumen 4 agricultural machine into mass production. In the Amur region, a unique autoclave facility for processing double refractory gold-bearing ores has been launched, with no analogs in the world. A new pilot industrial site for extracting rare earth metals from processed electronic scrap has been launched in the Samara region. In Dagestan, a unique glass melting workshop has been launched. In Kamchatka, a facility for producing building materials. In the Kaliningrad region, a large dairy plant. And in the Yaroslavl region, Russia's first industrial orchid production has been launched. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops. The Shredna-Nevsky shipbuilding plant launched the polar minesweeper of Project 12,700, while another Valday 45R hydrofoil was launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region. 2 small Project 04-130 fishing seiners were launched in Kamchatka. In St. Petersburg, full-cycle metal cutting tool production has been launched, and in the Kaluga region, a wood chipboard plant worth 22 billion rubles has been opened. A decorative materials plant opened in the Leningrad region. A polypropylene yarn and fabric facility in Kaliningrad, a dairy farm in Nizhny Novgorod, and a large livestock complex in Saratov. In St. Petersburg, a Project 10-410 border guard ship has been launched, and in the Yaroslavl region, 2 Project 03-050 border guard ships. A Meteor 120R hydrofoil vessel of Project 03-580 was launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region. The Zhatayskaya shipyard has started operating in Yakutia, And in the Samara region, production of auto components for the Lada Iskra car has been launched. Russia has opened its first flexible solar module plant in Mordovia, a large format insulating glass unit production in Voronezh, an advanced vegetable oil purification workshop in Smolensk, and a dairy complex in the Vladimir region. New T-90M and T-72 B-3M tanks, BMP-3S with extra protection, and Depesha robotic systems have been delivered. At the Zelenodolsk plant, the troops laid down two Project 2180 Grachanok anti-sabotage boats, and at the Zvezda shipbuilding complex, two bulk carriers. Production has begun in Irkutsk for mining and processing equipment, in Perm-Krai for food industry conveyor components, and in Moscow by the Kalashnikov Concern. A fiber optic and communication cable plant opened in Cheboksary, the second phase of an electrical equipment plant launched in Chechnya, and a full-cycle fittings production complex was established in the Moscow region. In the Voronezh region, a turkey breeding and reproduction facility, and in the Omsk region, a dairy complex. Another batch of Su-35S multi-role fighters has been delivered to the troops. A Project 12,700 minesweeper was built at the Srednyanevsky shipbuilding plant. A module production line for domestic cellular networks has opened in the Moscow region. Flexible polymer packaging is being made in the Kaluga region. A Tetra Pak packaging facility opened in Chekhov. Medical device production expanded in Samara. A major metal structure plant launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region, and construction materials are produced in the Irkutsk region. Russia's first lactulose production facility has opened in Stavropol. At the 59th International Mendeleev Chemistry Olympiad for school students in Brazil, for the first time, each of the 10 members of the Russian team won a gold medal. In the Astrakhan region, the support vessel Beryllium and the dredger Nikolai Grechanovsky have been launched, and two River Sea dry cargo, 81 dry cargo ships have been laid down. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, the fourth vessel of the DC 9203 project has been launched. In Udmurtia, nuclear plant equipment production has started. Podolsk produces printed circuit board materials. Nizhny Novgorod region opened a flax and hemp processing plant. Karelia has a wooden house kit factory. Altai Territory launched Phase 2 of a plastic recycling plant. Voronezh has a large non-alcoholic beverage facility, and Kaluga region, a dairy plant. At the International Biology Olympiad, Russian school students won 6 gold medals. The Soyuz 2.1B rocket launched from Plesetsk Cosmodrome, successfully placing a Ministry of Defense satellite into orbit. In the Leningrad region, the lead electric vessel of the Moskva 2.0 project was launched, and in Kolomna, a floating clinic of the 132 PK project was launched. The Ural automobile plant has opened a new truck factory and 2 component facilities for leading drive axles. In Perm, the production of new models of centrifugal pumps has been expanded. In Primory, a fiberglass production facility has been opened. In Vologda, a machine building enterprise. In Krasnodar, the production of waste processing equipment has been expanded. In the Penza region, a bio-waste processing enterprise, and in Adygea, a corrugated products manufacturing plant. Another batch of T-80 BVM tanks with additional protection has been delivered to the troops. At the Zelenodolsk plant, the high-speed hydrofoil vessel Meteor 2020 was launched. At the Srednyanevsky plant, a Project 04-580 catamaran was launched. In Bryansk, the only serial production of wheeled and tracked asphalt pavers in Russia has been opened. Tomsk produces organic electrolyte for supercapacitors. Kemerovo region makes liquid carbon dioxide. Leningrad region manufactures electronic products. Nizhny Novgorod region has a chemical plant. And Moscow region produces fertilizers. At the Okskaya shipyard, a Project 23-630 sea tanker has been laid down. At the Cherepovets shipbuilding plant, a Project TSK 395M tugboat has been launched. In the Astrakhan region, a Project 9359A dredger has been laid down. In Nizhny Novgorod, a Project RBD 60608 barge has been launched. And in Perm, a self-propelled cleaning vessel. In the Chelyabinsk region, a plant for the production of microcalcite has been opened. In the Moscow region, production of boat motors. In Kazan, production of spiral wound pipes. In the Sverdlovsk region, production of materials for making optical glass. In Petrozavodsk, a woodworking enterprise. In the Ryazan region, a food production facility. And in the Ivanovo region, the Nositel Kalibrov dairy farm. The submarine Yakutsk has joined the Navy. Another batch of upgraded artillery fire control systems has been delivered to the troops. A Project 03141 crab fishing vessel was laid down in Nakodka. A plant for the production of robotic equipment has been opened in Orenburg, a hot-rolled rebar plant in the Rostov region, a spare parts production facility in the Ulyanovsk region, and a paper products plant in the Kaluga region. The second phase of the paper products plant in the Vladimir region, a glass processing workshop, a waste processing complex in the Tomsk region, and a robotic livestock complex in the Lipetsk region. The Angara A-5 rocket launched from Plesetsk Cosmodrome and deployed Ministry of Defense satellites into orbit. In St. Petersburg, another project, 2220 patrol ship, has been launched. In Vladivostok, the Orem ship of Project 0341 has been launched, and in Samara, the Konopus dredger. In Moscow, the first full-cycle production of space-grade solar panels in Russia has been launched. In Bashkiria, a plant for translucent structures, and in Chuvashia, a dry milk production facility. At the International Chemistry Olympiad in Tashkent, the Russian team won 3 gold and 1 silver medal. The Soyuz 2.1, a launch vehicle with the Progress MS-31 cargo spacecraft, successfully launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, and another batch of Su-35S fighter jets has been delivered to the troops. In Sverdlovsk region, a seamless stainless steel pipe production facility worth 12 billion rubles has been opened. In Kursk region, a shutoff and control valve manufacturing plant. In Chekhov, a household chemicals production facility worth 1.5 billion rubles. In Karelia, a stone processing plant. In Nizhny Tagil, a waste sorting complex. In Stavropol territory, a large pig breeding complex. And in Chuvashia, a greenhouse complex. The Russian team took first place, winning 4 gold and 2 silver medals at the International Geography Olympiad. Another batch of BMP-3S with extra protection has reached the troops. The lead passenger motor ship of Project 00840 has been launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region. In Moscow, production of machines for mounting printed circuit boards has been launched. In Karelia, a feed mill. In the Vologda region, production of pile pipes. In the Irkutsk region, a metal structures plant. In Novosibirsk, a video surveillance systems plant. And in the Kursk region, a waste processing complex. In Kuban, animal feed production. Russian school children won 8 medals at the first International Cybersecurity Olympiad in Singapore. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops. A large landing ship, Sergei Kabanov, Project 11711, has been laid down at the Yantar shipyard. In Irkutsk, the cruise liner Barguzin for Lake Baikal has been launched. Production of solars, self-propelled. 7 minivans has started in Yelabuga. And in the Nizhny Novgorod region, production of electromechanical transfer cases for the solars. Pickup line and vehicles has been launched. There is a large machine building plant in Magnitogorsk. Rosatom has launched the country's first serial production of thermoplastic composite materials. A metal structure production facility has opened in the Moscow region, and in the Smolensk region, the first serial production of innovative packaging in Russia has started. Russian school children won the Grand Prix, as well as 3 gold and 2 silver medals at the International Scientific Physics Olympiad. In Kabardino-Balkaria, the Cherek hydroelectric power station was launched. In St. Petersburg, a special steel production facility was opened. In Ufa, a foundry for engine building was established. In Magnitogorsk, the first stage of a new steel wire plant was launched. And in the Saratov region, a zinc oxide plant was opened. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a metalworking production facility was opened. In the Stavropol region, a potash fertilizer production facility. in Kemerovo, a mineral fertilizer production facility, and in the Stavropol region, a cheese production facility. All members of the Russian team won gold medals at the 57th International Chemistry Olympiad in Dubai. The Soyuz 2.1B launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Vostochny Cosmodrome and placed 20 satellites into orbit. A vessel of Project 04710 was launched at the Shredno-Nevsky shipbuilding plant. A 10-megawatt tower hydroelectric power station was launched in Chechnya, a new gold processing plant in Yakutia, and a petrochemical facility in Nizhnekamsk. In Krasnoyarsk, the first ultra-pure germanium tetrachloride plant in Russia, necessary for fiber optic production, was launched. In Omsk, a printed circuit board manufacturing facility, and in Bryansk, a furniture production plant. Russian school children won 5 gold and 1 silver medal at the 66th International Mathematical Olympiad in Australia. At the Shredno-Nevsky shipbuilding plant, the 6th high-speed passenger catamaran of Project 04580 was launched. In the Krasnoyarsk region, the second launch complex of the Pilot Demonstration Center for Spent Nuclear Fuel Processing was put into operation. In St. Petersburg, a battery production facility for UAVs has been opened. In the Leningrad region, an abrasive materials production facility. In the Sverdlovsk region, a metallurgical products facility. In the Ryazan region, a plant for pipes with special coating. In Belgorod, a high-tech feed dispenser production facility. In the Stavropol region, a feed mill. And in the Tula region, a pig farming complex. All members of the Russian team won medals at the 55th International Physics Olympiad in Paris. Another batch of Depesha robotic systems has been delivered to the troops. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, 2 boom-laying vessels were launched and 2 dredgers were laid down. In Zabaikalsky Krai, development has begun at the Sherendukui molybdenum uranium deposit. In Tolyatti, a production facility for components for the energy and petrochemical industries has been opened. In the Moscow region, a facility for the production of logistics robots, and in Yekaterinburg, a facility for the production of components for tank equipment. In Bashkiria, a new grain elevator has been opened. In Udmurtia, the 3rd phase of a dairy farm. And in the Ivanovo region, a dairy complex. Russian school students won 4 medals at the 36th International Biology Olympiad in the Philippines. The Soyuz 2.1B rocket successfully launched from Baikonur Cosmodrome. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops. In St. Petersburg, the frigate Admiral Amelka of Project 2250 was launched, and in Severodvinsk, the enhanced ice-class armament transport Academic Makiv of Project 20181 was launched. At the Perm Enterprise United Engine Corporation, STAR engine production has been launched. In Chelyabinsk, the production of propellers for Arctic-class liquefied natural gas tankers has been localized. And at the Ulyanovsk automobile plant, the production of frames for Solar's pickups has been localized. The largest flax processing plant in the country has been built in the Rostov region. The Russian team won 4 medals at the International Linguistics Olympiad in China. The Angara 1-2 rocket launched from Plesetsk Cosmodrome and delivered Ministry of Defense spacecraft into orbit. Another batch of Su-35S multi-role fighters has been delivered to the troops. At the Krasnaya Sormova plant, another River Sea dry cargo, 59 Project dry cargo ship has been launched. In Yaroslavl, a high-speed passenger vessel of the L-390 project has been laid down, and the first Russian ultra-high-power tractor, Rosselmash 3580, has been produced. In Mordovia, Rosatom has launched the largest composite production line in Russia, and in Tomsk, production of hydrogen bromide, a substance critically important for the microelectronics industry, has begun. A grain complex has been opened in the Saratov region, and a large livestock complex in the Kaluga region. Russian school children won 2 gold and 2 silver medals at the 37th International Olympiad in Informatics in Bolivia. The Russian Aerospace forces have received a new Il-76 MD-90A transport aircraft. A Project 12,700 minesweeper has been laid down at the Shredna Nevsky shipyard, and 2 Project MPKSL passenger vessels have been laid down in the Samara region. The first production facility in Russia for special types of paper, which were previously imported from European countries, has opened in the Leningrad region. Production of engineering plastics, which were previously imported, has been established in Tomsk. Production of polymer pipes has been launched in Sverdlovsk Oblast, a large crushed stone plant in Amur Oblast, mineral powder production in Saratov, mattress production, and in Tambov, pet food production. Voronezh Oblast has a breeding and seed production complex. The Russian team won 6 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze medal at the International Artificial Intelligence Olympiad in China. The Soyuz 21A rocket launched successfully from Baikonur Cosmodrome. The Orenburg drilling equipment plant has launched production of the first Russian heavy-type drilling rig. In the Irkutsk region, a gold extraction plant was opened in Ivanovo, a sewing factory was opened in Primory, and production of the first Russian antithrombotic drug was launched. Near Voronezh, a breeding and seed production center was opened. In the Moscow region, a poultry complex, and in the Bryansk region, an agricultural complex. The team from St. Petersburg University took first place at the 32nd International Mathematics Competition for University Students International Mathematics Competition, 200 in Bulgaria. The Soyuz 21B launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed a spacecraft into orbit. In the interests of the Ministry of Defense, another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops, and new batches of BMP-3 and BMD-2 vehicles have been supplied to the forces. The heavy nuclear missile cruiser Admiral Nakhimov has successfully completed the first stage of Factory C trials. After modernization, an ice-class tugboat has been laid down in Crimea, and production of stamped parts for the automotive industry has started in Tolyatti. The Chelyabinsk mechanical plant has opened a new full-cycle production complex for the manufacture of import substituting equipment. A breeding and seed production center has opened in the Lipetsk region, a large food production facility in the Astrakhan region, and a robotic dairy farm in Udmurtia. Russian school children won 6 medals at the International Junior Geography Olympiad in Serbia. Another batch of Su-35S multi-role fighters has been delivered to the troops. Almaz Anti-Concern delivered counter-battery warfare and Buk M3 air defense systems to troops ahead of schedule. A Project 03-141 crab fishing vessel has been launched at the Vostoknaya shipyard. A rebar steel plant has been opened in Kamchatka, a pharmaceutical production facility in Kazan, a waste processing complex in the Tomsk region, a pet food production facility in Mordovia, a breeding and seed production complex in the Oriol region, and a dairy cattle breeding center in the Kaluga region. The team from St. Petersburg State University became the absolute champion of the 49th International Programming Olympiad. New batches of Panzer SMD surface-to-air missile systems, as well as Panzer S combat vehicles, have been delivered to the troops. The Vimpel shipyard launched the missile boat Strelok, Project 12-418, while a dry cargo ship, Project River Sea Dry Cargo 59, was launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region. The Rosiel Holding Company has launched mass production of a new line of domestic servers for artificial intelligence. In Tyumen, a production complex for high-tech drilling equipment has been opened. In the Khabarovsk region, a drone manufacturing facility. In Kuzbas, a plant for the production of cutting tools for mining and construction. In the Moscow region, a garment factory, and in the Kaliningrad region, a food production facility. The team from Novelskoye Moscow State University won the silver medal at the International Underwater Robotics Competition in China. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops, and new batches of tank support combat vehicles and Depesha robotic systems have been sent to the troops. The lead passenger vessel of the F-2 project was laid down in St. Petersburg, and a lithium-ion battery plant was opened in Tatarstan. Katyusha Company has started mass production of the first Russian-made printer circuit board based on domestic fiberglass laminate. Production of agricultural machinery has been launched in Voronezh, a weighing equipment plant has been opened in the Moscow region, a fish processing plant in Sakhalin, and a pig farming complex in the Tula region. The second and third phases of the world's largest robotic large panel housing construction plant have been launched in Moscow. A turbine blade plant has been opened in the Tula region, a food equipment plant in Ryazan, a complex for the production of complex metal structures in Orel, and in Sharapovets, the production of smart metering devices has been expanded. In the Novgorod region, a pipeline valve production facility has been launched. In the Yaroslavl region, a plant for the production of catalysts and adsorbents. In the Stavropol region, the production of nitrogen-potassium fertilizers. And in the Tyumen region, the second line of a large paving slab production facility. The tests of the intercontinental cruise missile of global range, Borovesnik, with a nuclear power unit, have been successfully completed. During the tests, the missile covered 14,000 kilometers in 15 hours. Thus, Russia became the first country in the world to create a weapon of this class. Specialists from the Yakovlev company have produced the second prototype of the Yak-1 130M combat trainer aircraft. In Chelyabinsk, serial production of Russia's first track-type tractor has begun. The Promtractor plant has launched production of the Shetra T-45, the most powerful serial bulldozer in Russia. A foundry has been opened in Sverdlovsk Oblast, a building materials plant in Moscow Oblast, a large plywood factory in Khabarovsk Krai, a plastic pipe production facility in Perm, and a zinc-white production plant in Rostov-on-Don. Russian students won 13 gold medals at the International Chemistry Olympiad. The first tests of the unmanned underwater vehicle Poseidon, with its nuclear power unit activated, were conducted in Turkmenistan. The upgraded MC-21 aircraft with Russian systems and engines made its first flight and joined the testing program. Another Valday 45R hydrofoil vessel has been launched in the Nizhny Novgorod region. In Moscow, a production facility for construction structures has been opened. In Bashkiria, a facility for manufacturing components for resource extraction equipment. In Udmurtia, a facility for producing zirconium oxynitrate powder. In the Kaluga region, the production of hygiene products has been expanded. In the Ivanovo region, a new textile production complex has been launched. And in the Tomsk region, a dairy farm has been opened. Another batch of Su-35S fighter jets has been delivered to the troops, and another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been handed over to the troops. At the Sevmash plant in Severodvinsk, the nuclear submarine Khabarovsk has been rolled out of the slipway. It will become the first regular carrier of the Poseidon unmanned vehicle with a nuclear power unit. Kalashnikov concern has started serial production of the 9M 340 missile for the Krona air defense system. At the Onega shipbuilding plant, the oil skimmer Eco-1 was launched. In Buryatia, construction has begun on a mining and processing plant for beryllium extraction. In the Murmansk region, a rare earth element mining site has been restored. And at the Cherapovets metallurgical plant, the first phase of a new rolling mill has been launched. A furniture factory has been opened at the Almaz shipbuilding plant in Moscow. A border patrol ship of Project 10410 has been launched. At the Chkalov shipyard, the passenger vessel Minin of the PKS-42 project was launched, and the second vessel of the same project, Pozharsky, was laid down. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a shipbuilding workshop has been opened. In the Kaluga region, a cable and support systems plant. In the Sverdlovsk region, a building materials plant. In the Moscow region, a food production facility in Sergeyev Posad, a deep poultry processing plant in the Orenburg region, a vegetable oil plant in the Rostov region, and 3 new sheep farms. Another batch of heavy flamethrower systems, TOS-1 Assault Sepyok, with upgraded protection against UAVs, has been delivered to the troops. A new production facility has been launched at the Irkutsk aviation plant, and Koldingstan, has started manufacturing 5-axis grinding complexes for aircraft construction. The Russian company Kognitivny Pilot has developed the first domestic robot with artificial intelligence for rapid analysis of agricultural land. Rostec has started mass production of smart surveillance systems for strike drones. In Ulyanovsk, production of low-floor buses has been launched. In Kaliningrad, production of a new model of construction dump truck. In Moscow, production of tomographs. And in Yuzhno-Uralsk, production of electrical engineering products. The Soyuz 2.1 A launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Another batch of multifunctional Su-30 SM-2 fighter jets has been delivered to the troops, and another batch of Mi-8 MTVM-5 military transport helicopters has been delivered to the troops. The company Navio has unveiled the L-5 passenger unmanned electric shuttle. The second phase of high molecular polymer production, worth 20 billion rubles, has been launched in the Tula region. In Zelenodolsk, there is a plant for the production and repair of gas turbine equipment. In Solnekhnogorsk, a cosmetics production facility. And in the Krasnodar region, a plant for the production of granular ammonium sulfate. The largest center in the country for the study of plant protection products has been opened in the Moscow region. Russian schoolchildren won 5 gold and 5 silver medals at the International Astronomy Olympiad in the Republic of Bangladesh. The Angara 1-2 launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed satellites into orbit in the interests of the Ministry of Defense. Another project, 12,700 Minesweeper, was launched at the Shredno-Nevsky shipyard, and another project, River Sea Dry Cargo, 59 dry cargo ship, was laid down at the Krasnaya Sormova plant. An electric vessel shipyard has opened in Moscow. Serial production of the G25 diesel engine has started in Nizhny Novgorod. Automotive components are being produced in the Samara region. Photonic integrated circuits are being produced in Moscow. Basic materials for printed circuit boards are being produced in the Moscow region. And chemical products are being produced in Omsk. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops, and another batch of BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles has been supplied to the troops. Another UTS-800 training aircraft made its first flight as part of the testing program. In Sverdlovsk Oblast, a full-cycle workshop for the production of titanium ingots has opened in Sverdlovsk Oblast in Moscow. There is production of metal 3D printers at Bauman Moscow State Technical University. The production of optical fiber has started. The Yelabuga battery plant has launched the production of a new generation of Norilsk nickel batteries. Updated production of metallic cobalt. A dairy farm has opened in Tatarstan, and a livestock complex has opened in Saratov Oblast. 2 new strategic bombers, two 160M, have been delivered to the troops. The 1st Regiment, equipped with S-500 Prometheus surface-to-air missile systems, has gone on combat duty. The Su-57 with the new engine, Product 177, made its first flight. For the first time, the regional aircraft LMS 901 Baikal took to the skies with the newest domestic VK-800 engine. At the Zelenodolsk Gorky plant, a new sea tug was launched. At the Nakodka ship repair plant, a new crab fishing vessel. And at the Oka shipyard, a vessel for cleaning polluted waters. In Kaliningrad, the country's first gigafactory for lithium-ion batteries was launched. In Dubna, cosmetics production. In Khabarovsk Krai, a new manufacturing facility. And in Udmurtia, a robotic farm. In Murmansk Oblast, a new underground mine was put into operation. In Dubna, a large-scale production of Russian base stations. In Smolensk, agricultural machinery manufacturing. And in Komi, plywood production. The Soyuz 2.1, a launch vehicle, successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome, and another batch of Su-35S multi-role fighters was delivered to the troops by Sudoverf. Zvezda has built the country's first ice-class liquefied natural gas tanker. The first large-scale production of alkaline batteries in Russia has opened in Moscow. Production of sewage pumping stations has been launched in Moscow, a seed plant in the Kursk region, and in Chechnya, it has been put into operation. A poultry farm in Perm Krai, a cable systems production facility in Ivanovo Oblast, a waste sorting complex in Mordovia, and an industrial eco-techno park in Tomsk Oblast. Thank you for your attention. More to come.